So I don't know if that's good or bad, though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what was that, Bree? I couldn't hear you very well. What was that? Oh, right. No, that's the good news. Siloam Springs, it's almost news if somebody just robs a convenience store. There's a little, what do they call those little windows above a door, a transom or something like that. Anyway, um, so far I will tell you that my initial impression is that I like this a little bit better. Um, smells good and clean. Uh, I, well, you can see now. I just walked in the door, and there's sort of it's a tiled entry that's probably uh, that's 10. It's either 9 or 10 feet above my head here, so it creates a little entry, and it's probably 5 by 8 or 10, something like that. So this would be probably 9 times out of 10, I guess. This first room would be one that you would think to be an office, just simply just simply because. Well, it's the same as your house a little bit in that respect, right? You walk in and there's that one room to your right. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but if I go across this wall, can you see some splotchiness to the wall? They had, that's right, it's terrible. I mean, it's just real clear. They tried a couple different paint colors trying to make that work, and it just needs repainted on that wall for sure, and maybe through the rest of the room since you probably can't get an exact match any longer. So let me see if I've got some lights I can throw on. Oh, good, they got the electric on. Okay. Then it opens up. Let me see if I can find some more lights here for you all. So you've got a little bit of. Okay, that's some can lights there. Now I'm standing still in that doorway that's kind of arched, and I'm standing in there looking out to the rest of the house. Find some more lighting in here. I hope you all can. I hope these tours are working okay for you. Um, I'm sure sometimes you feel a little bounced around as I look for lighting and the rest, but um, they've done some more touch up like that on some of these other walls. There you can see it again. So I'm sorry. No, I mean, from your pictures, it probably looks like it could be, but I wouldn't give them that much credit. That I don't think so. I think there was a number of items, small items and stuff hanging on the wall. You can see some nails and nail holes. It's not bad. It's really not. Somebody just was decorating or hanging some things. Um, let me walk here towards this back door that leads to the backyard, and then this is now you're facing the front door, looking towards the front door. So you have bedrooms. I think probably the two more off there to that one arched uh, area. We've got here. Let me give you some kitchen tour here, such as it is. Okay. I would assume if there's a fridge here, it's going to stay, but it's just a plain old white fridge, and cook stove and microwave are stainless. Just flat black dishwasher made by Whirlpool. Sink and faucet are nothing really extra. I would say your counter space here is probably similar to the last house in terms of overall counter space. This is your kind of your eat-in area. I don't know if they give any dimensions, but I would say if I was looking at this, probably 10, 9 or 10 by 8 or 9, something like that. Nothing really large, but enough to put in a table and seat. You could get 6 or 8 people around that table pretty comfortably, probably 8, and make that work just fine. I really thought kind of the same thing. I really did. We're looking at the laundry here. Let me get a light on, and couple of cabinets in your laundry space. This one, I don't. You're going to have plenty of room to call this your broom closet and your laundry space, because you can fit your washer dryer right here in this nook, and then you've got another 3 by 9 space or so in the. So that one kind of, I think that would work pretty well as far as the laundry goes. There's your little pantry. And this leads out to the garage. Sure. Yeah, no problem. It looks like there's probably for the furnace, hot water heater, and hot water heater is gas. That's probably the same unit that was put in 2005 or so when they built the house, would be my guess. I don't know. I would say this garage floor looks like most garage floors that are, 2005 model garage floors. Garage's got a little bit of smell to it. Nothing. I think that somebody at one time may have smoked here. No, I didn't notice it in the house. I noticed it in the garage. So I'm wondering if maybe they just smoked outside in garage. That would be my thoughts too, because it certainly I didn't even notice it or detect it. And I've never smoked, so I don't know if I should say I'm sensitive to it, but I'm familiar with it and probably would notice it sooner than some. There's your plug-in, if that's what you were thinking. But there's your there's your vent. Yeah, so it must vent to the garage. There's no other way to do that. Let me throw this light again. How do they, I know I'm just kind of running you around here. I'm not sure how they're venting that. I guess maybe they ran a line up into the attic space. I'm not thrilled with running a vent to the attic space if that's what they've done, but I cannot see where I don't know where that vents to. It vents downward. You can't see it, but it vents downward, so I'm not sure how they did that. Okay. Well, that's what I would have thought, but it was odd how it takes a curve downward. Now, maybe it does go back out through the roof. And we could take a look at the roof line just to see if there's something there that's a vent that would be close by. Now, this is probably the part you're going to like the least, I think. Just my thoughts is, boy, look at the green on that fence. Of course, we've had a lot of rain this year. But it's your backdoor neighbor that's It's kind of growing up back there. It looks like that house needs a little bit of, somebody needs to pay it a little bit of attention, care for it a little bit more. And somebody's got a dog back here. Sounds like a little bit bigger dog, and they got quite the outbuilding back here. I noticed as I came up, there, I would think that there's some homeowners fees or association or something, but as I came up to Patriot Park, what surprised me was I looked at the what would you call it, like the marquee that's outside, kind of designating that this is Patriot Park, and the marquee was not kept up very nicely. It was actually just weeds growing in the area that was supposed to be landscaped, I guess. I mean, it doesn't look awful, but it just doesn't look that good either. It's not a real big marquee, but just a point of reference for you all. With the way the neighborhood is kept up, I actually anticipated that the marquee would have looked a little bit better. I would say that if they would like to see this house move, they're going to see a little bit of price reduction before that happens. Just because you've got somebody kept some dogs out here at one time or another. It's not awful, but you're starting to need a little bit of attention, a little bit of wear and tear. There's not much for the area here off the porch. It would have been nice to see a little bit more concrete poured, but again, it is what it is. Nothing that looks to me to be real problematic, but just as a point of reference, we do have 1, 2, 3 cracked tiles right there. Overall, I still like the house, though. I like the house. I like the price. Location's not bad. Really is not. I think I like it better than I like the first one, and maybe just because this is free of anyone living in it. But let's do something here. Okay. This would be the master bedroom. That's pretty spacious. I mean, you can get some decent furniture in there. You've got some crown molding and a tray ceiling. And the bath is clearly larger and more accommodating than the first house. This would be, so you've got a shower. You don't have a shower tub combo. You've got just your walk-in shower. And a jetted tub, frosted windows. Oh, there you get to see me. And stool is here, so you've kind of got your little potty room. Amber and I laughed the first time we heard someone call that a marriage saver. It'll just take the two of you. That's exactly right. There's no potty room that'll save the marriage. It'll be Max and Bre or nothing at all. I do like this walk-in closet better. The last one was quite narrow. This is a lot easier to get into and feel your way around. I mean, I'm standing in the walk-in closet now, looking back out to the bath. So now we're kind of doing a 360 there, back to the little potty room here. So a walk into this bath is a shower on your right, jetted tub on your right, and straight ahead is the is the dual vanities. There's plenty of counter space there. You can put 3 or 4 toothbrushes there if you want to. You've got one outlet in the mirror, oddly, but I haven't seen that very often. But I guess they just cut a hole in the mirror to make sure they had an outlet there. Could have just put in a smaller mirror, I think. But anyway, and one more outlet over here. The odd thing about this one is, going back to it, now, okay, yeah, they don't all have to have GFCI. They don't have to have the same GFCI look as long as they're connected to the other GFCI outlet. But nonetheless, to me, it looks like it was may have been an afterthought, and that's what a home inspector could test for us, just to make sure they're all GFCI. Not a big deal, but it is kind of a safety item if it really matters. To some people it does. The master bedroom is probably 16 or so by 11 or 12. I'm not too awful bad then. For a guy who's guessing. Evidently, I've walked through some houses before, and I've measured my own place. Max could probably do the same thing. Just shower tub combo here. Let's see. There's fan. There's the overhead lights. So your only 2 baths are off both to the right side of the house here, but not hard to kind of point somebody to the public bath. They just go under this arch and turn to their right, and there it is. And here is our one other bedroom. I think if I usually am. I'm usually the kind who will point out both good and bad in a process of things, just so people never feel surprised. If I was being a little critical, I'd say, what are we doing with mini blinds in a 2005 house? Were we just trying to save money? That should have been the 2-inch, but it's okay. This wall, the same thing, Bre. Yeah, they painted over, but I think some of this is original paint, and then somebody came in here and tried to paint over it, and they should have hired a pro painter instead of do a horrible job themselves. I would say, my guess would be a renter would never do that. So if there had been a renter here before, the homeowner went and did it, or the homeowner decided to do it before they left the house vacant. One of the two. I think you do some of it right away that looks a little bit more obvious, and some of it you'd probably leave alone. So now I'm standing just here in that little entry that leads you to the master bed, and the second bed, master bed, and the bath, and I'm standing there looking out to the rest of the house. So we have carpet and ceramic tile, and you have ceramic tile in all your wet areas, and then carpet everywhere else. Okay. I meant to actually look at that more closely earlier. I think I would probably leave this carpet for a little while. I think so. Even in this area, the walk-in front door, I see some wear, but it's not what the other one was. The master bedroom is clearly cleaner. No